Right, Jemo Biakwaba and Fambra, MYBET.AFRICA. Mrason said, you're the good one, Sam, a bro, Ewo, Jumadians, Medina, the Vincent, Money Man, Atnas, Listo, and so a bit to me, Ajinaguana, you're the good one, Yatanasi from now to 2:30, a good one, Sam, and the bro, ye pa, Shannon, say, ye be bro, bet, ye be mount odds, not watch out, now where the MYBET, say, young can't say, or Bema, the table boosted odds, no, ye be sound so my odds, now, uchape. Omo ene the only betting site wudi bet ani asende o SMS krache wo discabra na bra be yiska na kokodi tiene ye the odds na bra nra games bebe na etodwa ewo across Europe, the English Premier League, the Copa del Rey and in sense bebe na etodwa ye be remo ene hye send the Black Stars of Ghana new FIFA world rankings no sen ena Ghana akwakoda Africa kra no ye da sen after 2 wins against Madagascar ye be real sansem na den sem no e dia bro nyame odome ne games betodwa and nation say the best striker in the English Premier League Nicholas Jackson and you me madrin chen America and osi akan say Jackson pride no wa basnega obedi e banabi abeji agbada ne maniama but ne mu kocha beta Nicholas Jackson to score no likely say betimi abedra as a team Atletico Madrid omo ye do me bia and so still Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres mo ade ewo mani ewo mank sankasa mu homa niema entimi ankoi amfa mo money man atnase ye beko na ya hwe games etodwa. There's a lot of updates in the so no the Ghana Premier League games etodwa kotoko enya a sweet victory against Precum Chelsea nyame odme tuba she. That is a Tuba AstroTurf, Hearts of Oak, and the Nations FC. Omni Biboma Empire, a bit me a dry or hunty, a beshe, and no results are, and so it him to to Johnny Yamubo so quick. Na afe, yambeshe, and the matches are a bit me at General Barcelona after. Omokopium Stadio Wanda Metropolitano no mutimi ekonya a sweet victory against Atletico Madrid. Nei yeba benya the El Clasico in the Copa del Rey finals. The last time El Clasico no told you mama debi. The last time a Copa del Rey final between Madrid and Barcelona no. That year 2013-2014 Copa del Rey no. Real Madrid for energy year. Na monsha debi. That very year Real Madrid for no omo na yi Atletico Madrid film and omo call final. And Barca so Real Sociedad and they call final. This year, Copa del Rey final since 2014, yaba benya an El Clasico finals in the Copa del Rey no. Barca Atletico Madrid equal final, and Real Madrid Real Sociedad, and so equal final. And to be sure, the 2013-2014 teams are call the semi-final no. They are the same teams this season on semi-finals, and people are saying say the last time yenya El Clasico final no the Atletico Madrid no ono Nigeria, and people are saying that Barcelona ebesiaji. In fact eba no Copa del Rey na Barca enimbo say team bia say na e the Champions League Madrid the champions no Barca so e woni de mu ni be remember the Manchester City a sweet victory against Leicester City. A lot of the teams in Sweden wins team money man yan share no games no yan share no games ni kakra na yan fambra and then yamia my games betodwa.
Okay, chia ahwefo na say ni yoma san join ni eba BT Sports Arena eba be tie nyama ekoso ntindra games ni because so in the EPL yenim say Liverpool the Merseyside derby and na one derby and no bia adwen was so obi ahwe senior sa fixture ni betimi akọ because in drum kan wan say Everton epese otina Liverpool ni jesu dia na so otimi nya win against Liverpool senior the league we standings and a point between Liverpool and Arsenal no be ketwa now going forward no say Arsenal betimi emi an nya close your mugaba or no Everton there so ye NY I think it was a good game. Utimu said anytime be Everton any Liverpool be shiano and ye form asem more about rivalry new or hunting is other no beard in the A game never in team drawing who send a game ni call with tackles any nyama bad game no match say yes this is a Merseyside derby and there's a derby everybody in the Merseyside and I say or person share but I think with Tarkowski tackle a bar in the 10th minute and it was a dangerous tackle nyame enim ni was very very dangerous with tackle no o hwe the way a okoye the way na ne nan aplant
but say no me on say okọ for ball
yes
me dey ni say it wasn't say bia Tarkowski no ekọ direct so okọ akotwa McAllister because me sometimes a ball no you hu ni say anytime I stadium players be no mo call tackle no my say minya ball but this the James Tarkowski no on nya ball no he played the ball but the 9 left no air rest no and the 9-2 no the ball ni na on say wabo boy we e dey untimi define I mean untimi avoid the gravity inside man nti ni 9 ko form no but me am position in 9 but I mean it was very dangerous na career threatening but to be say a red card no me so sometimes I feel like say red card you are not being fair because he got the ball
yes
because you who players are omutimi bobo amababra play reference okobbo me wa football no a game of contact so me point in the but I mean I've seen a lot of commentaries from Mike Dean and other referees omoka say it was supposed to be a red card but from a point of view no any how American game now for some time now no he got the ball say when your ball ni dia what you say me dey say obobo ni we yansa na 9 touch no and you say the 9 touch no ansa na obobo no
but sometimes no player ni nya ball na the only identity and for complaining say should be a red card ni say the reaction after onya ball no the follow through na a player ni so no because o hwe Tarkowski tackle na onya ball ni wie no hwe the follow through na hwe ni action no it could show so obi a okay ofili say menya ball no but tackle no say na ekoma me ntwimi na mu otimi hu the action no
yeah.
But it was more of like a follow through no feel say okay menya ball no but my main call but to me yes the yellow card is something it will depend on the referee and also depend on how serious a referee feel say the tackle went but the amount questions baby I raised on this thing was the way referee this one Brambeshe and it was like the VAR team no just decided to we think said the yellow card is okay so you should let it go. I think Everton fans they no more feel says okay but with Liverpool no money said there's something in a game so to me a red card in the 11th minute it changed the whole aspect of the game in Yamatimi but I think with David Moyes Mebona Basu about Everton this is the second time we lose a game and losing against Liverpool and yes something you could just bow your head say maybe it was a bad performance. They played everything with ball possession Bibiombo Bibia. I think if Beto it me take it the chances in the first half in team a friend Everton beat me a goal in the first half against your friend is in Liverpool but Jota senior him no time be because so Liverpool front line and Liverpool maybe players or more that the 9th position he's one of the most clinical people up front but injury any didn't now to me share go Emma Liverpool but 1-0 win for Liverpool or something I think Slot or the man on any day in any beji because at the end of the game who reaction any the way he was very happy it shows here yes he was really okay with that 1-0 and Liverpool fans almost game no more to and about they winning the title. I got 8 games I can o points gap watching Arsenal musisi na 12 into any say Liverpool lose this title race I mean it's 8 games na can say Liverpool to me lose mo 4 then the game against Arsenal no Arsenal sanction no Arsenal to me I then about better first but I think baby you do need their bedding ama Arsenal so beat me revive this title race waiting me probably title now ahead of Liverpool. With Crystal Palace and Southampton, I think it was also a good game. Going into this game, now you can't team on form. In Dram because a Crystal Palace form on more, especially away games. No, we about 7 away games on consider. We team about games against tough opponent on consider, and every away game be your boy up to in draw game. No, we team share 2 goals in every game. Our boy away. Intina de ba kwa no bia wojide woni mu se sa game ne nko ade. Crystal Palace be pick a win and a Crystal Palace in so be den e betimi ahye 2 or more goals but rest Southampton they have nothing to play for because position or dano so person etimi avoid the relegation that means in the last 8 games aka no ezo etimi winning na eba be den so amano intina no relegation ni de okoba at least a point gap na enim say a season team ko relegation at least ne 10 points de obetimi enya no with me assist at 10 points and I think fans in beji getting scoring a goal against Palace are in 7 away games on concede not at least getting that early goal. No, I think it was to the dying embers of the game in Kenya. No, they will pick a winner. It will be very good for their team. I think Crystal Palace in the first half, you had a chance trying to convert that chance. I think Crystal Palace in their last 7 away games, and that same Crystal Palace they were more slower, meaning say the FA Cup game needs to affect you because they were more slower on the ball and then convert a lot of chances. Manchester City, any Leicester game. This is the second time in the season, and in the first round, in the second round, Man City team Leicester 2-0. In himself, investors be bear margin so City be goals be. But in now City without Erling Haaland, and now in himself City wouldn't score much. In Jack Grealish after 16 months. With me, share a first Premier League goal for Manchester City and I think 20 something no on my particular years be an in so it was a good day for him scoring a goal on that particular day and in free mo. With Manchester City was how we near the back were very important see I'm on that fourth position with 51 points. Newcastle Edanichi with 50 points and Sana Chelsea with 49. Newcastle were upstanding game. With Newcastle upstanding game no one. So to me pick a winner, meaning said that top 4 position obetimi ewema ebetimi aboa nti with Chelsea Manchester City pressure do musu ye papa especially Chelsea game or any team a friend Tottenham bebo no pressure than so because we intime win here obetimi lose out of the top 4 and also even that fifth position at EPL yeah they more so obetimi a qualifying obetimi lose out. I think yesterday the worrying results are a high investors here and now the most shocking results are Bournemouth any Ipswich game of course so because also Ipswich in 2025 we need just one game untimi win biom in 2025 na adeba akwa no be enim say Bournemouth form enye say Bournemouth form natiko in their last 5 games no we pick just one win. That win was an FA Cup game according to penalties against Wolves. Apart from that no untimi win see this game ni free man in his last 7 games no untimi win be. So this was a game against Ipswich. I know be enim say they should have gotten a good result and also beef up their position on the league log. In him say do baby they were even fighting for the top 4 and they on the 10th position ne oshe position of that to the Europa spot is 5 points. International team winning 2 games without not even conceding and Abibi to get him up to that Conference League spot. I think so mutiminya ebio many badge, but this the form almost start here and their home form almost start here from the start of the season. And him so Bournemouth abebre City muna ko lose here. I think in the first round Chelsea pen a ko team ko win 1-0. Tough clubs in ko lusu ye bimu ko peke draw na against Ipswich no be enim say nke so mutimi win e nei mutimi lusu Ipswich so on the other hand so it gets them a bit closer to avoiding relegation enim say it's a tough chase because share Wolves any nintema Wolves say to me pick important victory against West Ham say about 9 points between any Wolves as a Ipswich team winning 3 games Empire say Wolves in Sube lose 3 games within the space of this 8 games. I can copy the end of May. I think a very difficult. I think Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, Mufri with championship by, and I think one a san ebe go back in Newcastle so see firm. Now me can say with their title we omutimi title chase for the top 4 no. And need their EFL maybe we are friends and complacency basing because of magic trophy, but they were able to get that convincing winner at Timi Boom. Yenshwe the Coppa Italia first league course. That is AC Milan, any Inter Milan game. In draw with the lineup coming up, no be any say. I think there were a whole lot of question marks in Milan say João Felix shouldn't start the game. Because now it's say he has become one of the most easiest targets in the team. It's a Bibian Koboni and João Felix. Bibia AC João Felix in Tindrano no be a pressure João Felix and start game and I also hearing rumors say that Santiago Jimenez into start game because Milan are not impressed with the performance of buy and Osha the players they brought in the January transfer, that is João Felix and Santiago Jimenez, they are not seeing anything good from them apart from Kyle Walker who say he's also adding more to the team no. These 2 players are not adding enough and Tammy Abraham a start, but I think one thing about Tammy Abraham is getting a start and he proved say yes he could lead the line, even though say Santiago Jimenez is not giving out their best. In to me share that crucial goal, let me boa. Ye name say later in the game no and we coach we friends and Concesa introduce Joao Felix and name Santiago Jimenez to come in. By that time no na Inter etimiati the game ended in a 1-1. To see the return league no very important ama AC Milan. So AC Milan at least they need to get something qualify for Europa. This is one trophy so many was so making sure say they need to win because in Drama I said you be winning what this game no equal you beat match Copa Italia because we share Bologna with AC Milan with Inter Milan even on their top form. I don't think say Bologna a team you beat me show in any cup final and draw a team end in 1-1 draw with the Copa del Rey Spain game no in draw me din Como has said this game mostly no.
Okay. Before I ever Copa del Rey no, I want us to look at Aston Villa team no.
Yes.
Right now you look at the table. Among at 7th position, 48 points. Behind Chelsea, that's 6. And Marco Asensio, since joining Aston Villa in January, he has scored more goals than any other Premier League player across all competitions. Yeah. 8 goals and a wash. And day in, day out, they've been scoring. One of Marcus Rashford. These two signings by Nyama Kuyamomo. Looking at Liverpool game or share against Everton, it was a victory that most of us saw say in Kabeba. Right now, Jenshare the Premier League.
Yeah.
The top 4 race. And sana the Copa del Rey no. Jenshare the top 4 race. Arsenal likely that they will still maintain the second spot looking at the point gap. But it's not too far from 61 to 57.
That is 4 points.
4 points.
Yeah.
And Man City so 51. So from the second position to the 4th position 10 points. Ntian check it from 3rd to the 7th position or to the 8th position. Which of these two teams with your last 8 games are Aka and our last 9 games bim there 9 bim there 8. Why now Phillies 2 teams when who of them say you believe that with their stats and their matches remaining they can add up to Arsenal and Liverpool to qualify and even the 5th spot now everybody in the Champions League if these teams are able to proceed.
Okay, from the third to even 8th position, that is Brighton. Maybe a Brighton that anybody can get into that particular top 4 race. I didn't make us and say we have 8 games. Now we 3rd, that is Nottingham Forest or 57. Now Uber back to Brighton, no 47. It's just 10 points gap. You name him say 10 points gap. Equally 4 games. It's a Brighton team in a good 4 games. Now Nottingham Forest in a bad 4 games. You're lucky at the end of the season. You know, Nottingham Forest basically a drop about better 7th or 8th position.
Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
So you might Nottingham Forest games aka. Person checking Nottingham Forest. In the last games in the Premier League, Obeko away to Aston Villa.
Yes, a difficult.
Which is a very difficult ground. Obeko against Everton. I mean, Obeko home or the City ground, so likely they can win.
Yes.
They will go away to Tottenham Hotspur,
which is also a
difficult ground to go and win there. From there, Omebo home to Brentford, another difficult game, but they are playing at home, so a double chance for them very likely. Omeko ASL host park and Crystal Palace.
Yes,
another difficult ground.
Game, yes,
they will play home against Leicester City,
which maybe will be the
easiest game for them. Omeko away to West Ham.
I think that would also be an easy game for them.
West Ham home and Landing Stadium.
But West Ham form, especially when it comes
because to that is the last but one game. And bear in mind that if you do another West Ham, and soon that year.
But West Ham to say baby or done, I think or a safer position.
Okay.
Especially with Graham Potter when him say baby or done now season ended, so he needs to prepare for next season. 34.
And their last game at home against Chelsea. So they will. Some of the big games who meet me, but especially for now, they will play Aston Villa, Everton, Tottenham, Brentford, Chelsea. I
think on the Chelsea game, they be a top 4 decider.
Okay.
It will go into the last day because any top 4 na corner, it will go into the last day. And according to the last day, now 2 teams fighting for that particular position. Say, boy, it becomes a top 4 decider. Everything will depend on. Omuni na fixtures towards that because Chelsea so we be hearing the fixtures no or not to be difficult games. Chelsea be Man United, Chelsea be Liverpool, Chelsea be Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, into Nottingham Forest. Pese yenye no team by team na be
It is a Nottingham Forest. I think at the end of the season with this fixtures so no, Leicester will be an easy game for them. I think West Ham would also be an easy game for them. Everton would be an easy game for them. Apart from their 8, they would 3 be easier mom. I think with Aston Villa, depending on Aston Villa Champions League run, a bit me determined a bit me. So Aston Villa are having a comfortable win in the Champions League. They can go into that game. You who's Aston Villa, so every time they are playing a Champions League game, or mobile league game now, a performance no of them. So that would be an advantage for Nottingham Forest. But I think at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if Nottingham Forest would have maybe the 4th or the 5th position on the league log.
Okay, so let's look at Manchester City.
Yeah.
City currently or winning 2-0, 30 matches, 8 games, or the 4th position with 51 points. Nottingham Forest with 6 points. And Olidi Newcastle with 1 point. Newcastle were game in hand.
Yes.
Sansolidi Chelsea with 2 points. Chelsea were game in hand. Obebo. And Manchester City next games in the Premier League. Obeko away to Manchester United. That game is a difficult game.
First league Oluzu Etihad.
Yes, a very difficult game. Obebo home to Crystal Palace is an easy game. City can any other given day or more former or bet me Ashe. Then they'll go to Goodison.
On the Palace first game of war draw.
Yes.
Yes, so it will be a difficult game for
City. Yeah, but the thing is, on City, if City nyani day or go against Crystal Palace, it had simple and Abeko away to Everton. A rejuvenated Everton side since David Moyes by. Then they will play home to Aston Villa. Ombebo home to Wolves. They will go away to Southampton. They will play home to Bournemouth, another difficult game. They will go away to Fulham. City games.
Yes, I think City games are I think in the top 4 race, so it will be something when the easiest fixtures coming up. I think Manchester City.
Okay.
They having one of the easiest because Man United game Old Trafford will be a difficult game. Meaning it's a Man United team, no. Though they are not playing well against other opponents, but when they meet the top teams, they come out and play. So that game will be very difficult against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace and Boston, they have one of the finest away form in the league. Obi anywhere about away former. Okuta form saying Crystal Palace. They've been able to play 8 games. Away no concede a copy draw game or against Team Efreno Southampton. So it will be something behind them. They would like to continue that way form. It is Crystal Palace. It will be a difficult game for Manchester City, but experience will play a lot of factors. So Crystal Palace saying to me, and who did Southampton, into me and Southampton. I think at Etihad they will feel the pressure. City beat me, Everton. See, I know David Moyes. Every game at the Goodison Park, a final for them because they had their last few games on the ball. So they'll make sure they'll make their fans enjoy every game on the ball. Into that game will be a bit also difficult. But Manchester City, when it gets to time, they need to grind points. They go to and grind. Nottingham Forest, they bomb the ball in the FA Cup. Then Aston Villa. The Aston Villa game will depend on. So by that time, Aston Villa are out of the Champions League. Then Aston Villa need to also fight for that top 4. It will be a difficult game. Wolves Southampton will be one of the easiest games every month. So they'll get 2 back-to-back games. It will be easy for them to fight out for. Then Bournemouth. Man City every city on more Vitality Stadium. No more Manchester City. So it will be a revenge for Manchester City. By that time, it's a Bournemouth form ne egusu very poor. Yeah, Man City will walk over them. But so make me revive your more and they want to look out for any European position, say the Conference League or the Europa League. They will be difficult for Manchester City. But I think at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised seeing Manchester City occupying the 3rd position because of Pep Guardiola. Now they are out of every competition except the FA Cup. And the FA Cup, they'll play Nottingham Forest, which will be a difficult game. Apart from that, they are looking at winning the FA Cup. In TNA, the Manchester City, ain't me right the top 4 Mumpa, that FA Cup, in getting into Europa. They'll make sure say they want to get into the Champions League. So the top 4 position is something they need to get in. Between them and Nottingham Forest is just 6 points.
Okay.
So they would like to cover up those 6 points, and they have easy games against Leicester and against Southampton to also cover that.
So it's a sure spot. City will
qualify for the Champions League.
Top 4 or top 5?
Top 4.
All right.
City will get into the top 4.
All right. Yansha Newcastle games. Honestly, Ochi Brentford. Ebony 2-1, and
Yes.
they are the EFL champions. And in fact, this season, they are doing so well. Last, I can't 9 games. About 29 games. So I can't 9 games now. The Premier League now Korea. In fact, they are not going to play in any game. Games are in the Premier League. So they will play. Next game, Leicester City, King Power Stadium, away. That game is very tricky, money man.
Yes, but I think Leicester has nothing to lose. So and Leicester, no, the only thing they are looking out for is they are just thinking about next season.
Okay, but I remember about matches and so the next game against Leicester City, away. From then, Omeba St James Park, now Omoni Manchester United about ball. Then they will play home again to Crystal Palace. From there, they will play Aston Villa. Aston Villa away, then they will come home and play Ipswich Town. Normal away to Brighton. They will play home to Chelsea. They will play Arsenal and Everton. What? So they will some of the big games are Mimi Huni. United, Aston Villa, Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton.
Yes.
Out of the 9 games, me feel it's 6 games. Very crucial for them. And in fact, that away game will to Leicester City. No, I think that Leicester City, upon losing 6 consecutive, 7 consecutive, my hopes are at least getting a draw for their home fans, will be very crucial.
Yes, I think Oshomu games now. The Leicester City game for me, I don't think it will be any pressure on Newcastle, especially in the first leg when Mutimi share Leicester City by 4-0. I think they will surely do something with former Isak War. They will surely do something with their game against Man United. I don't think Man United can be able to stand this Newcastle team. Until Mombe walk over Man United. But I'm looking at their Crystal Palace game because I didn't make us understand in the first leg, Crystal Palace and your mobile 1-1.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult, tight game. It was a 1-1. And then you bought Crystal Palace away from sending Witima set a good away from. So Crystal Palace going to St James Park will be something a better team a friend in Newcastle. You say team okuta a good away from Kowa. Omuta ha been you adia Bournemouth any friends and Clivet Mokoye or Eco Born 4-0. So it will be something that if Crystal Palace can get good men to be able to stand with Isak so and make sure they are taking their chances with Mateta, any Samoa, they would be able to defeat Team FN Newcastle. So that would be a big worry for Newcastle. Aston Villa away will be a difficult game. Ipswich, which it will be one game I think they can walk over. Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. Those last 4 games be difficult games. I'm a Team FN Newcastle papa. And with these fixtures, Newcastle will miss out of the Champions League. So Newcastle can get the.
But no more form. It doesn't look like you know how they played against Liverpool.
Yes.
And their side that when they are playing this season, Chelsea are sharing about Chelsea. Actually 2 times in the EFL.
Yes.
So in as much as they will play Chelsea, they will play Arsenal, and some of the teams if it's big. Don't you say Newcastle can win those games?
We Newcastle this season. Anytime they have continuous games, tough games. Yenko Echikaka.
Okay.
In November, Omobo against West Ham, and Omuluso against West Ham. Or the ball draw against Crystal Palace, or the ball draw against Liverpool, or lose against Brentford. Anytime we work continuous games they are tough. There is also another example. About February 15th, about Manchester City lose 4-0. Obe against Nottingham Forest. We all knew how that game went. If there was an extra 5 minutes in the game, and Nottingham Forest would have equalized. And Obe ball with 4-3 or no be lose to Liverpool, no be lose to Brighton. Anytime all continuous games are difficult games, say they don't have enough men on the bench. They don't have to say Isak. Senka, if they had another striker, Isak bought 60 minutes to me resting, then you bring in another player. And this last minute fixtures are they are worrying, especially you name him say Brighton, and also finding a spot in the European competitions. Chelsea also finding a spot in the European competitions. Arsenal, even those who are qualified, on your not say or the better keke, and also person close up gap with whatever will be happening with Liverpool. Everton, almost she said their last game of the day, a away game mom. If they need to get something into their new stadium, and they need to also make sure say relegation spot, So the 4 games will be difficult from Newcastle. With Senior Boston, anytime they have 4 fixtures on a row, they are difficult. Yeah, ultimately picky wins into it. So it will surprise you said this 4 games, depending on form at Chelsea war and form at Brighton war. Newcastle can pick maybe a draw against Everton and maybe lose 3 games. Yeah. And if they are losing 3 games against Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, meaning that they will miss out of the top 4. It is a Newcastle. I think their best spot this season will be the Europa League. So if they are qualifying for the Europa League, that will be a good spot for them. I think they will get. But to qualify for the Champions League, I don't think they'll be able to qualify with the fixtures are Aka Amom.
Okay, Afi, the next team on the list, Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure Chelsea. So next games are Obebo. Chelsea. Next games in the Premier League and only Tottenham.
Yes.
After the Tottenham game, Obeko ball against Brentford. Brentford Community Stadium. A very tough game. From there, they will play home to Ipswich Town. Ball away to Fulham. They will play home to Everton. They will play Liverpool. They will play Newcastle, Manchester United, then Nottingham Forest. So some of the games feel say big. Brentford, Chelsea shall break. So indeed a difficult game for Chelsea. Ipswich easy game. Fulham, Chelsea can always land in there. Chelsea can always win against Fulham. But Everton, and also against Everton at home, I believe a easy game. But Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, and Brentford. These are difficult games, money man.
Yes, I think we have Chelsea games now. So make your case in the top 4 race, team with the fixtures, very difficult to beat me and miss out Chelsea. I think we share fixtures at Chelsea were now fixtures wise, they could miss out of the top 4 very easily. Okay. With the form of Madani Dibe Pemene. On it Tottenham, and a very difficult game. You name him say Chelsea Tottenham game near more of like Chelsea were upper hand on Tottenham on any day. So Chelsea were form, they will be able to walk over Tottenham. That 3 point is crucial for Chelsea. Right. They need to get that 3 point at least to get their head into that top 4 to make sure say if there is any top 4 conversation on a Brentford, it will be a very difficult game for Chelsea. The last time at Chelsea call Brentford Eko was a 1-0 bench or a Chelsea. Now Sadani who say it took Mr. Benjamin, Edward Mendy, with massive saves on the night to make sure that Chelsea concede. In TNA, they're going to Brentford will be a very difficult game. It will depend on the quality of players or they will have on the field and how they will take their chances. Said this season, it's about teams who create a lot of chances. We Liverpool and Chelsea, but they've not been able to convert their chances. And the likes of Nicolas Jackson, Noni Madueke, and the rest are back. Until they need to now, and yes, they need to come and be like he had 3-4 games to gel. They need to start gelling up as of now because there are difficult fixtures coming up. After Brentford, Ipswich found the first win in the stadium against Chelsea. So it will be a big game for Chelsea. They need to get a revenge against Ipswich. Then Fulham also by Stamford Bridge Chelsea. So this will be another game as Chelsea into a quite away etimiko winning. Everton, name him say against Chelsea in the first round, Chelsea ball draw. Into Chelsea, also no to pick a win. Then Liverpool, and also say Chelsea lose here. With Newcastle, Chelsea 8 million then a win here. It was Stamford Bridge, but it was St James Park. It wouldn't be an easy game for Chelsea. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, wouldn't be an easy game. So Chelsea fixtures on mobile beboa.
Okay.
Uyi Tottenham, Uyi Brentford, now Uyi Newcastle. That is 3 out of the 8. It move 5. First round, Chelsea lose here and about draw in all those games. Until that means they were difficult opponent at Chelsea, Inter and Shom, even in their good form. Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Inter and Shenu in his good form. Man United, Chelsea, Inter and Shenu in his good form. Liverpool, Chelsea, Inter and Shenu in his good form. Everton, Chelsea, Inter and Shenu in his good form. The same as Fulham, any Ipswich. Until now, if Chelsea wants to win or get a Champions League qualification, meaning said that first round results that they got against these teams, they need to change it. Into Enzo Maresca and Brandt, this final 8 games, finals. Every game is a final for them. They need to make sure, say, every point, as well, Mutimi Peki in each game on Bebo. Until today, starting from the Tottenham game, they need to win comfortably. Go to Brentford, win comfortably. Ipswich, win comfortably. Even against Liverpool, a tough opponent, they need to win comfortably.
Yeah.
Because Olusu, 2 games out of the remaining 9 or drop you out of the top 4. In TNA, so Obisam say, what position am I feeling say Chelsea beat me ada? Chelsea should pray and be happy. Say that fit spot now. You see Europe. Beat me there English club no.
But say that one, it would depend on performance of Arsenal and
Aston Villa.
In the Champions League.
Yes, but it cut across to Man United and Tottenham also in the Europa League. And also Chelsea in the Conference League.
Okay.
But say Chelsea winning the game, Arsenal winning the game, Chelsea winning the game, Man United winning the game, Tottenham winning the game. The point at the call the coefficient table no. And you higher testing yanka Arsenal and Aston Villa to me winning. So it is Arsenal and Aston Villa in their 2 return leg games no. Mean to me winning be a meaning say Chelsea, Man United and Tottenham back was want to me that competition to help them. Into Barca Arsenal to me winning at least 1 leg against Real Madrid, and then that fit spot is then secured. And Aston Villa so to me we need 1 league game against PSG, meaning that spot is also secured. Into Chelsea na who odi na be kwa kojina say so the Conference League, that is one. And also make sure say Arsenal and Aston Villa get at least a win against Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain. But I think Chelsea Chelsea this season ni games our boy they should count themselves responsible for position or mother.
Okay.
Because do baby entering into December, not Liverpool apart Chelsea, just 3 points. Just 3 points into the December fixtures. Now no be any say December fixtures. So sure, there were 10 fixtures. They were easy games for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But they were able to mess them up and they are fighting to get into that spot. One thing about Boom, any their goal difference. They've got a lot of goal difference. That is 16. We Manchester City or no so over that battle no more 17 Obi any all goal difference since Chelsea. So meaning their goal difference will help them. Meaning it's a game some they'll go into. They need to get that goal difference also working. And they say Memphis is a team be no only benya the same point with goal difference wise they beat me up one. But I think Chelsea will get the fifth spot position. I think last season they got that same spot and now also Man United winning the FA Cup they dropped. But it will be a very big worry. So Chelsea better fourth, even though they went up to the second, the third, even some week they were not Liverpool in boy, they occupied that first position and they'll be fighting for that fifth spot position. But it will all depend on performance they'll put up and also the other teams.
Okay, so let's share Aston Villa. Yes. That is the last
week.
Yes. Aston Villa, so they are doing very well. On my last 7 games, win. I'm more for me and Aston Villa last Premier League games, they are still in the Champions League. And on my last games in the Premier League, the Umbebo Nottingham Forest. That is the next game on the ball against Nottingham Forest. A very tough game. They will also play Southampton away. Umbebo Newcastle home. Umbebo Manchester City. Umbebo Fulham, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Man United. Hey.
No, Tottenham.
So Nottingham Forest, Southampton, Newcastle, Manchester City, Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Manchester United. They have a lot of big teams in it. Manchester United, Umbeko away, Umbeko to Tottenham Hotspur, Umbeko away to Bournemouth. They will play away to Manchester City. They will play Newcastle and they will play yet Nottingham Forest. In fact, I say we Chelsea Freeman, they are going to play all the teams. We Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Freeman, all the big six teams are more pray for top 4. They will play against all these teams.
Yes. Oshe Aston Villa, anytime they go into the Champions League and they return to the Premier League game, it's either they are losing or drawing.
Yeah.
Their game against Paris Saint-Germain is a very difficult game for them. I wouldn't be surprised in this weekend's game against Nottingham Forest, they will rest a lot of players going into that game because Obetu Kwanyako France and Utimi Konya a win or a draw or Ebetimi Abuano. So meaning their game against Nottingham Forest, Umeniba Akubewa their game against Paris Saint-Germain. So one thing they say, I don't think against Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa can win that game based on their Champions League game. So it will be a good game for Nottingham Forest or Momu Nifie, but the only thing they have is the FA Cup against Manchester City and Enyampo Mbe. So Nottingham Forest will go in full force and try and win that game. It will be a difficult game for Aston Villa. Omobewa will boss Southampton just after the Champions League, and that is a day they need to break that record of going into the Champions League and coming back and losing or drawing.
Yeah.
Into a Southampton phones who anybody going into that game because someone say the return leg, Aston Villa phones with 3 years. Because the results on the 9th of April, they need to also rest players against Southampton. Liverpool having these same fixtures. Liverpool call Paris Saint-Germain, echo we need 1-0. Oba in the return league, no Southampton and able. Obeshare Southampton as Paris Saint-Germain as Ambeshare. So Aston Villa, they are in the same cycle as Liverpool. Omanya Lokia, they would go through the same thing, and out of these 3 games, they will win against Southampton and lose against Paris Saint-Germain. After that, they will be out or they will be in the Champions League Obekwa against Newcastle, which will be a very difficult game for them. Man City, a very difficult game for them. Fulham, a very difficult game. Bournemouth, Man United, and also Tottenham will be very difficult games. So Aston Villa games on the only easiest game at home against Southampton. And known is even in between their Champions League fixtures. Into 7 tough games for Aston Villa. But I think Unai Emery has the men. Unai Emery has the structure, the plan to be able to at least get 3 wins out of this. But I don't think Aston Villa can qualify for the Champions League also. I'm looking at they battling with Newcastle for the Europa League spot. Into your man here, say Aston Villa to me winning the FA Cup, meaning say they would equally qualify for the Europa League spot without no battling with Newcastle. So now their mindset will be on the Champions League. Say obetimi akwakoji the Champions League. It's me the Champions League move straight. And now say the FA Cup no betimi aji against Manchester City.
Okay. It's
me the Europa League spot. When me these 2 titles one year lucky next season we may see Aston Villa in the Conference League.
All right. Yeah, breakdown on the Premier League. It's a Russia and a few games. Na chese akwe 8 games to go. Ebimwaka omo 9 games. Yamya do me Chelsea bebo. So yeah, concussion. The Copa del Rey game I call so. Madi can catch you say the last time yenya a Copa del Rey final. A Copa del Rey final a Clasico clash was somewhere in 2014. The number no Estadio de Mestella Valencia and Valencia for the stadium no. A whole number was a game no. Madrid share 2-1. Players almost share goal no was Angel Di Maria and Gareth Bale. And about 2 goals no. Edema Real Madrid. Matula House was the referee of the game. And the El Clasico final for the first time in 11 years. Yeah, but Nene a man for Kwakwachi results biaba 2013-2014. Say Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. And the ball the semi-final game. In fact, that's year no teams are omoko semi-final. Omo nyina na ba final this season. Real semi-final this season. Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, FC Barcelona, and Real Madrid na ba final this season. Semi-final this season. And 2 teams are qualified to final, which is Real Madrid and Barcelona. 11 years ago in 2014, these are the same teams are qualified for final. But the semi-final clash wasn't the same. Madrid and Atletico Madrid money boy. Then Barca played against Real Sociedad. After home and away, Madrid away by 5-0 against Atletico Madrid. That is our rivals. And Madrid they call final. And Barcelona won 3-1. Barcelona won 3-1 in aggregates. And on aggregates against Real Sociedad. And also they qualify the next stage of the competition. See, that game was very intense. First leg, Madrid share 3, Atletico Madrid and Timiante. Barca share 2, Real Sociedad and Timiante. That is the first leg games. In the second leg, Madrid share Atletico Madrid 2 at home. Sanso and Barcelona and Real Sociedad ball 1-1. So what you say? Ball 1-1. Game now called extra time. and I just saw omo the year then so here as the case a team now or share Atletico Madrid no on a G trophy no and then the amount for say Barca asha Atletico Madrid and so back 2014 11 years ago Barcelona ne Real Sociedad game no and now the second leg on board draw money man yen check Madrid and Real Sociedad game the full time was it a draw
yes
and a full time now
there be full time now Real Sociedad they lead that is 4-3
4-3 and no they call extra time and in Madrid and the baby share means that after the extra time the game was 4-4 and a man for say that game ending the draw so whoever or share Atletico Madrid no is going to win the trophy yen share and no game no how both teams set up. I mean in fact proud to this game no me catch you say Atletico Madrid if they want to secure a point in that game and I even a point in this game they would have to work full 90 stop the creative players in Barcelona team Ferran Torres boy started ahead of Lewandowski but you see their high line was something that Alexander Solot was finding it very difficult to beat because that's a high line at least money one board made the picture be to win as a can fan to Sumami that was Alexander Solot go now or share now or margin offside no. You see Alexander Solot was marking Abrante and then Ronald Araujo so I think that ball kita Julian Alvarez or they can control ball first the first thing Barcelona players did that is the defenders intuition defenders no more free ma ube hu Bade ube hu Inigo Martinez and Araujo these players no a step or movie like say once a ball never become poem so they will move before they were born or may make an attempt to play your players onside and offside. Into area Inigo hu Solots and not chain home by Chicago before Alvarez ever born same as Araujo and a Griezmann. So in fact if passing back 2 wide can Antoine Griezmann's wide I offside so Barcelona highline if Odenebo now attack is more speed you can punish them but Solots any player with speed so always or make you run fast no more faster the moment I will ball no make you step and always your players will be in an offside position then no I check here the game Madrid for that I say Atletico Madrid for no omugo a omo share ya manji no was an offside I na man for kasai na yem na basa highline by the see when you are playing against such team tactically in awareness it was raw you have to also ye discipline to actually no game na offside yegiti Atletico Madrid I want to person kaminya omoji offside in 4 and it's Atletico Madrid the 3 was from Solot and I think the other one was against Julian Alvarez. Man, let's look into the game. Rafinha Lamine Yamal this season Barcelona has the chance to win 4 trophies. The Copa del Rey already made the country Super Copa España no. The La Liga they are leading the table and the Champions League too. They are favorites. Let's look into the game now.
Yes, I think yesterday's game was a very good game, especially for Barcelona. In 2025, Omun lose game here, and that is one thing that they are trying to do their best and make sure some fixtures at they are very difficult fixtures and they are close every 3 days. Be a Barcelona bobo into meaning say. These are results so team grinding here. And one thing I met me up at Barcelona setup is and now they are trying to add clean sheet to their game. And one thing I enjoy team who say Atletico Madrid of all teams couldn't even get a goal against team friend Barcelona. Enjoy me can I said these are fixtures are mostly so Musha Wanda Metropolitano. Mostly the game end with one team scoring and one team keeping a clean sheet. Into the Obedi Kanyasheno, likely say he'll be able to keep a clean sheet and draw Barcelona to me. I think in draw formation wise, I didn't like the way Atletico Madrid they set it up. Because also their previous game against Barcelona ended in a 4-4. My main cause our game na me mau ne full team or they call into that game. Osha they went in more with a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Trying to be more attacking minded. In that game no you Alvarez started, Griezmann started and they were more solid. But so in that game now they went in with a 5 back. Now meaning say Simeone wants to be more defensively solid
Yeah.
and try and take the chance up front. Indra, they went with a 5 back, but still Barcelona were able to get their day and score the goal. I think Ferran Torres actually said if Barcelona are looking at Lewandowski echo in the summer, maybe they are looking at bringing in a new striker.
And one thing I hear good about Ferran Torres, running behind defenders, very solid.
Yes.
Unlike Lewandowski. Into what you know, Lamine Yamal a ball true passes. No, I mean, Adepakwa may happy about this Barcelona team is. They find ways and means, especially that empty pockets, maybe a space who feels a space kit will be down. That is how Barca for it to me. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Pedri, these are players that want me finding those spaces and find one player in that box. So if you go at Ferran Torres here, they've assist or boss out 3 times and send a Ferran Torres saying be a babeshe. So or a player be in fact, if Lewandowski in a ball start here, the game would have been different from Atletico Madrid because Lewandowski will not make such runs now. Ferran Torres here.
Yeah.
So I think that Ferran Torres starting game they affected Atletico Madrid team no.
Okay, so he was brought in mostly as a winger.
Yeah.
So but he has been able to occupy that center position at Etimi Abuano because as a player there, unim so team be purposely for a particular position now, as our position is being occupied there. You find another place to find yourself and make sure also to me our starting 11 because on the right wing Lamine Yamal is performing well. Even on the left wing I name him and then Rafinha natural position.
Yeah.
He's performing so well. So now Ferran Torres coming in 2 games as a number 9 with him 2 goals is something he would be very happy about going forward. Or say if Lewandowski is moving in the summer, they will try to bargain on him, say yes, they can put him as the number 9 and also get somebody to be his backup. I think Indra Barcelona setup was good. Szczesny has been one goalkeeper. I think he has been a blessing to this Barcelona setup. Coming in with his leadership and he also trying to make sure say he's doing crucial saves to help Barcelona. Adebakwa waiting me at the Ababeka Barcelona team. No. Adebakwa mape ewo Hansi Flick team no say. We the back line Otimi changing between Inigo Martinez, between Kubasi, between Arojo. But anytime there are changes, you don't even feel it. You could see say they understand the high line, they understand the defensive works waiting me at Chirom. And you could see say Oyimpo at the Eric Garcia and Pobeboa. You could see
it's just like the same players now.
And there's been one thing that he's been able to make them understand and buy into his ideas and between Pedri and Frankie de Jong has been one of the best center pairings. They are doing so well in the center mid positions. Omu complement you and it's helping the Barcelona team. And I think in the number 10 role, it's Dani Olmo nearby, say Femi Lopez nearby. You could see that still the team is doing well. So Utimi the structure has been so built well to the extent and you play your best starting. But Obia Bemwa, they are playing so well. Emma team no and going into the final, it will be something as any our boss. It will be very crucial, especially for Real Madrid, because this season we share Barcelona 2 times. They've conceded 4 or more goals. Going into this final, Madrid fans minimum so many badges so will get a revenge against them. But it will be a very difficult game because Barcelona Real Madrid say they want to at least get a treble this season. Treble no includes the league, it includes the Champions League, and meaning they can even at the end of the season, Barcelona they can even get at least 5 trophies by the end of the season, including the FIFA Club World Cup. So Mutimi did this same performance. I think Atletico had a poor game, a very, very poor game on the night. So Alvarez he's been the main man. Griezmann form article in his last 8 games. Alvarez being the man at form and no be the performance Alvarez he was one of the lowest rated players in the day. I think now the performance to me caution bet me about Atletico Madrid. But I think Barcelona Hansi Flick in 2025 he bet him and net in draw. That was the 2nd of April. They've not lost a game. It's just 1 draw penalty. It's something now going into their Champions League game and also going into other games. It will be something and they are looking at say a few games here like few 12-13 games here including so in the Champions League. They want to win everything and get into the Champions League final and also win that, which is something you've been missing from them for almost getting to 10 years near.
I want to ask 2 questions before I be Chelsea game, any other games any. Yes, yeah, sure. Fenerbahce Galatasaray game, I mean, Mourinho after getting the, I mean, a draw against Galatasaray or home, coming back to venue and at least will be himself were upper hand. What happened and Mourinho Ekoko Pinchy or coach, after the game. And Barcelona, do you believe? So the question is, the questions number be and the no share Gala game.
Yes.
Near the Chelsea game straight away. Do you believe that Atletico Madrid or Diego Simeone or failing the team in this season after losing all the trophy? Because this season, how they were playing so well, or they are just unlucky. Two, do you believe that Barcelona can do the quadruple? I mean, much I'm saying about but do you believe that Barcelona can do the quadruple? And in fact, if they can do it, they have to. I say they have to go toe to toe with Real Madrid. The league is between Omani Madrid. The Copa del Rey is between Omani Madrid.
The Champions.
And even the Champions League, once Madrid is still in the competition, is between Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and the other teams here. And in fact, PSG.
Okay, so I think Atletico Madrid, yes, they've been unlucky. I didn't make us, and it's at the start of the season. Now, I say, but now on several occasions, I'm cast Atletico. So matter this all attacking players they need to find a way and get Simeone out of the team, because now it's say who said you'll be used to this attacking players. They went on 5 to 6 games. Now no muntimin pompiki a victory who the Champions League against Lee, sending a Lee share and even the way they were struggling against lower teams in the Champions League, and Simeone got the right pattern, the right rhythm to make sure that the team the performance then ekoyi. Now Adebakwe and they say I didn't say they are unlucky. They say when they got the right path, the right rhythm to make the team perform, they started meeting bigger opponents. That is when they met Real Madrid in the Champions League and a Copa del Rey, so Sambishia Barcelona. I think next season, one thing about that Atletico Madrid setup, they said next season they need to at least add one quality goal scoring winger to their team. I think that is what is missing out. It is also this season they go into games with Gallagher playing as a winger, playing a flat four in the middle, ahead back at home, because see a pressure number Bejina Griezmann, any Alvarez, so lots Bebemu, any Angel Korea Bebemu to try and add. But if they have one quality winger who is adding goals to Griezmann, any way Alvarez, they can get in more. And when you say things weren't going on well, but Simeone, he has overachieved, because at the start of the season, Nyama no Komuno. Now, Utimia picking Nyama who sometimes they went on even 12-15 games unbeaten, and they were even in the title race, and Nyama Itimi Akobone. But I think next season, if they are to add 1 or 2 players into their setup, they could battle for the La Liga and also other competition. With Barcelona, yes, Barcelona, they can go and win that treble. We've seen pictures in their meeting rooms. Your friends and trophy cabinet. Yeah, their boss say they want to win the treble. I think the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid is something that they've been able to work over Real Madrid this season. And if Hansi Flick echo into that game, not feeling say, oh, they are normal team at time, they are team show, and they could go in and fight for the title, and they could go in and win that Copa del Rey. In the La Liga, it's Barcelona's to lose. As a Barcelona team winning all the games to the end of the season, it's me winning the La Liga, and it's something I think it will be easy for them. The Champions League against Dortmund, I think it will be a good game for them to at least get a home and away win against Dortmund, and look at Bayern Munich or Inter Milan, which will be very difficult for them in the semi-final. But so much me overcoming Inter Milan or Bayern Munich, then now the Champions League final, maybe they can get to meet Real Madrid again, and know said their customers, they can walk over them. So Barcelona winning the treble is likely to happen. Okay. So on a percentage level, I could give like maybe a 60-70% say they can do it, because they've shown say in 2025, now Adebakwe home is a clean sheet, and they've been able to now add it to some of their games. Wow. Yenshare the Turkish Cup, the playoffs, that's the quarterfinals between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. Going into this game, in Dram Bekan say, any game we wouldn't get an incident off the pitch. Because we've seen what happened in the league game, going into this game. everybody was looking at Fenerbahce with the form of Madani. They need to at least eliminate Galatasaray. I think so. MyBET.AFRICA and bookmakers or some of them now was backing team Fenerbahce to win this game. But I think Victor Osimhen, I think
clinical.
Yes, these few games to the end of the season. It's a Koko season. So Victor Osimhen will go to be a boy or chances be a convert. Yeah, this is the time as well to me convert because it equally increase your price tag. 1, 2. It equally increase your wages. Say clubs ne ba na see more battle for sika sema why na dey sika kese betu bottom na obey den obekọ. And I think one thing I must study about Victor Osimhen is say Victor Osimhen a player be the least XGs no to say be expected goals are expected chances so to me converting and no be converting but the bigger ones also simple goal so to me share no share need no and every time you make sure say the least ones no or convert or muntino na big chances no missing untai in the goal and the first goal or share it was a typical striker's finish o make sure say baby ojina no on find a spot me bosho to chiachi and they the back to me share and getting a penalty scoring that penalty was something that was crucial. Galatasaray going 2 goals up. Now me who said no, it was an end game for Team FN Fenerbahce. Even though they were able to get 1 goal in the first half, the second half I knew said Galatasaray will come in very difficult. The game ended with red cards all over the pitch. Jose Mourinho got a red card. Well, there was another red card for Fenerbahce and 2 red cards also for Galatasaray players that they were off the pitch incidents. But I think it's something the Turkish FA needs to try and make all this type of incidents happening in their league, especially between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, into something like they should monetize it. Because in name say Fenerbahce and Galatasaray shia eni bebre wo ho obi anim say bibi betimi esi. So this is something that they should use in a way to try and get more sponsorship, get more exposure for their league going on next season. And yes, the bad comments coming up, no be require search Galatasaray, then they see, then I'm Mourinho, but people need to go and search for Adentia performance. Say, you know, it's me call say, saying that teams me neighbor, and it's saying that their inclusion also in the league, other teams there's Sansu Spomo and Besiktas. How are they also performing? Because you will say in the last league game, Besiktas share team FN Galatasaray, but be able to check social media or Google way. So be share Adentia or share. But people are more concerned about what is going on because in doing whom Mourinho win, people would now go in and check for what is happening between Mourinho and Moa. It will be something, but I think that is something they need to work out on next season. Make sure that these fixtures are bringing in a lot of money and a lot of exposure to the league. I remember Galatasaray for Abaso, there've been a whole lot of conversations about they getting backing from the league in MYBET. But yesterday they did well and they were able to qualify now into the semi-final. So going into the semi-final, no,
right?
Obetimi I then apike a good wins. Etimi qualify ahead of Team Bia or what eho.
Yes, share and Chelsea game now.
Yes, I think a Chelsea game because it's a difficult game for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Though se Tottenham a good opponent for Chelsea any day. Se Chelsea team be a share no e nya point Tottenham. Now baby sa Chelsea fan be in their game in their first league game against Tottenham went a 2-goal up. No Chelsea fan be wasn't even worried say we lose that game because when him say Tottenham customer they could walk over them anytime any day. The last time at Tottenham pick a win it was Stamford Bridge and a bit dated back to I think 2018. Which Tottenham ebe winning 3-1 against Chelsea. Na sa there no Dele Alli any Eriksen mokra bomb Tottenham to yeso timu sa cheye papa. Into this was something that Chelsea will go into this game and no say yes. We hear Chelsea into home record. The last time Chelsea lose a game at home was against Fulham in December. That was on 26 December. Into a say Kikanko almost 4 months more Chelsea in lose a game at Stamford Bridge, and I don't think Tottenham will be the team to come in and beat them today. But it will all depend on character. It will all depend on Chelsea team going into the game. Last month match, Chelsea player back up and share go match Chelsea. That is Marco Cucurella. After Marco Cucurella, being with him share go match Chelsea. So it's something that is very worrying, especially going into a game like this. Now, I Chelsea game about against Leicester City, winning 1-0, a difficult game. I think now there were people who were disappointed in the result. But after the day, Enzo Maresca Beka said the game they play and you're more of like the FIFA and the EFC games are a bono. So because the Chelsea in Leicester, so it's an easy game. The Chelsea team is 7, but they go into difficult games. Every game is important and every point is important. And then Tottenham will come into this game with a full setup. Tottenham will come into this game with a full setup. Into a knee, we Tottenham injury Leicester, a swati. They say I think Kelvin Danso and is a bit doubt for this game because when you a tie injury.
I think
Kulusevski and Richarlison and Dragoshin pair on players that they will miss out for team.
These are all players are almost very crucial players.
Yes, but these were players that they weren't. Kelvin Danso in a full Tottenham setup, he wouldn't have been a starter. Yanshe Dragoshin wouldn't have been a starter. Maybe Kulusevski, they would need him because in the first leg, team share 2 goals against Chelsea. On the Chelsea side, no, Lavia and Ayatise, there are a bit of concerns about with my picking something and knock. About very crucial. I think in the summer, it's a Chelsea beshe no mbejane kwanya maybe your munhwe no munjane kwanya. Sometimes players need to move to different clubs to get their form back and get their injury problems sorted out. Players beat say Christian Pulisic moving out of Chelsea, Loftus-Cheek moving out of Chelsea, Callum Hudson-Odoi moving out of Chelsea and so. But Lavia is a very fine and quality player. Now Ubia Missy Mempaibo now say he could be fit for Chelsea because Adio the Chelsea team no is very important. Etimi Buama Chelsea konenim. That is the only player he's missing out. Say Chelsea a full house. We Kellyman onumpo this season in Punk and the 9 boy. Now we Mudrik due to suspension. It's only Lavia per NNA untimi emba into the Chelsea setup. But into going into this game no, Mami Remu into the lineup I be expecting in the game. Into Chelsea side no. I think a neighbor who Sanchez starting again. I don't think Jorgensen, with the chances when you win to me and take that advantage, into Sanchez will start. Today, Reece James may start as the right back. We can see Fafana and also Levi Cole in the center positions, and Cucurella being Chelsea's key man would also start. We can see a center mid, a double pivot of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. Then Madueke, Kopama, Neto, and Nicolas Jackson will start as the front 4. At the time, I'm going for this front 4. So I think Tottenham would come with a lot of counter. They would come and put pressure on Chelsea. You name say Angie, a coach, bia or no. Onim their friend is saying city back and I ain't hold their play. A full attacking full 90. It's a Uber with a full attacking full or back with a full 90. Sana. You need Madueke with the pace. You need Nicolas Jackson with the pace. Ube here Neto with the pace. And Nico Palmer with trying to find in the spaces, send you beat me a punish Tottenham. And I think today is a day as a Chelsea team, no, Nicolas Jackson, it me starting and making sure say ene quite be as well to me share go.
But do you think say from being out of the team, the coach will starting outright in the squad like that?
I think Enzo Maresca any option there as of now. You know how he has struggled without Nicolas Jackson. And to me, say if Chelsea will struggle without Nicolas Jackson being in their team, then I have some question marks about Enzo Maresca because as a top coach, Nicolas Jackson, you name him, how disappointing he is sometimes up front. Chances are wasted. Inti Nicolas Jackson is not that clinical to the Guaycres, the Isaka, or may see out on them, you should panic. But Chelsea were panicking all throughout the season. Now or may see out. So now he coming back. No, we want to see that Chelsea team wave forming up. So that Chelsea team near who before December. No, we want to see them coming up and everybody is available. Until you be Enzo Fernandez going more forward into the half spaces, then maybe Reece James coming or Cucurella coming and help your friends and Caicedo in the midfield. And they actually Chelsea up front, they could get that convincing win. And not just the win against Tottenham, but a convincing win against Tottenham. With a good set, Enzo Maresca needs to do something. With the Tottenham side, so I think Vicario is back. He will be in post. He's one of the quality goalkeepers in the league. Ebano short stopping, Ebano reflexes. He's one of the best. And I think Spence ever started ahead of player friend Pedro Peru because Spence going forward, he had more to attack than Pedro Peru. Though Pedro Peru defensively, or a very rigid untimi track back here, but Spence etimi edu ena we Udogi, he's also fit, he will come in. Van der Veen is also fit, he would also come in, and Romero will come in. Tene sa back four na Spurs are missing out on almost 15 games of the season. They would get to play again. Van der Veen coming would help Tottenham, especially going for a tracking Nicolas Jackson Morant. You know, he will be very good. Madison might get a start today because we are friendly saying Kulaszewski with injury, you know. Then Bentancur and so Ebenya a start. I think their young chaps, you know, would also come in with Song and Solanke Monsu Betimienya. So today Tottenham will come in with a full setter. They would come into Stamford Bridge or Bernard James or Beba Aba Chelsea. But Adeba Kwam Debema Ashefoni say Angie a coach Bia in his last 152 games or about, that is with Tottenham or Celtic, no? At least a good ever game into a good game. And I'm not sure the game will end in a 0-0. But there will be goals in this game. I'm seeing both teams scoring. I'm seeing Chelsea win or draw, and I'm seeing also over 2.5 in this game with the attacker. Both teams, but we'll see a lot of corners too because Chelsea be attacking and Tottenham to be attacking more. So and they to become MYBET.AFRICA bet builder, and I'm there more no. Bet me ISR selections. Let me Africa MYBET.AFRICA.
Will Kopama he be able to find his scoring boots again against Tottenham Hotspur?
Yes, I think Kopama can get a goal. I didn't say we've seen say Kopama drives more on Nicolas Jackson's rant and Nicolas Jackson's ability. It's not something bad. Obibeka say you need to be as you want to be one of the best, you need to be on your own. But we've seen Messi enjoying the likes of Xavi and also Iniesta working for him. We've seen Cristiano Ronaldo enjoying from Benzema. We've seen even Frank Lampard enjoying from Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba also enjoying from Frank Lampard. Harry Kane, Song, they've been players. Or more other players or more complement you. Yehu say with Nkunku and Kopama partnership ne Intimian nye ejuma ye because Nkunku wouldn't do more of the rant. We driving defenders to find these spaces. Intiane se Kopama going into this game because Nicolas Jackson is back and Nicolas Jackson can help him get that form. Kopama just needs a goal to revive his goal drought and make sure say Inyama ebetimi.
But is in as much as Onshe goal, whenever he's in the game, he is still need chances in the creating the chances, you know, creating chances, you know, a lot of games are also chances, you know. But in this game, the Spurs team, you know, how they will set up. I don't know if say Jackson is going to start and the players are going to do well. Obetimi this Tottenham game are redefining the form before season be end. Yes,
Obetimi the Tottenham game were redefining form. The last time I was share Tottenham, how clinical he was, even a cheeky penalty against your friend is Vicario, and also making sure say or he like his gameplay in that day was extraordinary. So per game be there reviving a career is the Tottenham game because when him the year in that previous game and today he needs to replicate the same thing to revive his career. And every Chelsea fan be say Chelsea be draw on where your friends and Kopama and she go because Chelsea needs Kopama to be at his best form going into the last 8 games. And Nicolas Jackson Madueke has been players at Chelsea have been missing out. And then they need to come into the game and show the Chelsea supporters what they've been missing. And you say do baby at Chelsea supporters need be ball mechi. Omo Nicolas Jackson mechi, omo Madueke mechi said they are not putting up the good result. But they're missing out of the team how they were struggling into and they need to also come in and perform so well. Send your Chelsea fans see a kind. Madueke today needs to at least score a goal or provide an assist. Nicolas Jackson on the other hand score a goal or provide an assist. And Kopama needs a goal today to make sure say he could get his season back and running. And then Sanchez needs to prove to Chelsea say in the summer so mo pe keep be obetimi atena in his last 8 games is a trial for him to do that. And Enzo Maresca last 8 games come last 9 games and so Timmy prove a point Timmy Chelsea fan be say next season he's the manager to lead the team and make sure say if they get 1 or 2 inclusions obetimi do baby so do mudu in the league.
All right, money man share the odds for the day no.
Okay. Internet mafa Chelsea game ne bet builder na ohwa with my bet for bet builder na no e de ye pa se me hwa Chelsea game ne kwa odds amenya ho 4.67 into me bet builder ni Chelsea win or draw over 2.5 in the game, both team to score and a corners over 9.5 and a bookings over 3.5 and so in name is a London derby and there are a lot of bookings at Iba and the second one and so Sporting Lisbon but to Sporting Lisbon win and Sporting Lisbon to score 2 goals into odds in Akaboma 6.5 odds code no R9HY R9HY MYBET.AFRICA.
Yes, I know money man coda and odiaba and there's a lot of games because across various league centers and now gives Benato Janyamiadoma and games because especially in the Ghana Premier League and now games etoja and now Kotoko echi Brekum Chelsea ebone kabako omo entimiante and has folk ewo tuba omoni Nations FC so ebetimi etimi ediabo before ebeba no money man before I bomb bet in the Reverend Osei Kofi, my former Black Stars, former Kotoko, former Hearts of Folk player, Oje AFCON 2 times. In fact, in the 1962, no, he was the joint third top scorer for you know, many people are more here and believe he's a legend. And Wababe Kasa said, Nansenya Okoshe Madrid game and Ewa Fredo Di Stefano and Omawa Nano as one of the legendary African players, and he believed that Okohu Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium no, in a real way, because he also believed that Galis and Kaupa Ghana and stadiums are not even training centers, pram training centers, Binia di Galis, in care Omode Onan Krana and Kat Nanibaje, in Person coming ready in the court no, okay, no, and son I'm a bomb betting so na Yabajo. Say, I asked myself, when will I be honored with the stadium in Ghana when I saw the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium in Madrid? Reverend Osei Kofi. And no, I somehow can't see. Mebana Uremu Kakrebi Eddie Amami. And then us for the day, no. A few games. Timanidin Eddie Olympija Ljubljana. Oni Timanidin Eddie Beltinki. So a straight 24 a year Olympija for no. CFI Cluj. Any Timanidin Eddie Crauva ever straight 24 CFI Cluj, Basel Grasshopper, any Grasshopper, Club Zurich, straight 24 Basel Sanso, and their Chelsea Tottenham Hotspur is a straight 24 Chelsea, and a Sporting CP Euro Ave, straight 24 a Sporting CP code no A88HY 88HY. Money man quickly now, sorry,
yes, I think as someone referring was a Kufika and the Yamini Ukrainian no cre. Because you can say omo metimi aboa Ghana football no, especially winning an AFCON na man ya you be boni din account. And even in recent comments in Edu baby now AFCON no mo no Edu baby nka match ni kwa nka omo ya ato na nka so players ni gine mu ema the late we friend saying we Rollins etimi be mu etimi make sure say bibia betimi akoyi amo metimi abobo ni fairly amo metimi koy. I think sometimes these things say who say legends never can. It be a lot of comments near who say people will come out and say I didn't think no be cancer anything, but sometimes we don't need them to come out and say it. We don't need them to come out and tell us. Say if you respect history, history comes and back you. Any other back what meet me aka. Sometimes who say there are stadiums, there are sports centers, they are then we name them after people. Based on say we are looking at the history, the heritage they were able to bring into our football, and we want them to be honored and people know about them. And they ubia offer in Kola Ewomo from maybe the year 1998 mo babe pemenia ubisanu hwan put na Reverend Kofi ya onim. And that's something that means history is being cleaned out. Say ni din da training center biso and ni din da stadium biso and ni din da bibi so obi mpo be bisa say na hwan mpo na Reverend Osei Kofi na apart from and wetime nya history afa ho and wetime nya bibi afa ho. This is something that we need to honor people. Mempe the idea of ye twenya sebi ade se mani mbem ade se nipa ne free mu ana nipa ne wu ansa na ya bekwa akɔfa ne din aba beto bibi so sometimes nipa ne te ase a yetimi di ne din to bibi so na even impo say ye bepe kwan bi so mpo say board be on that particular stadium and I be near the din ye de na ka ho mpo making sure say he wouldn't let his name go to waste and na ade adi ne din ato so no enko ye basa ono nso be boa ma nyama etima koyi. So what he said there nyame enum no kwe no kwe na
because you see money man, in as much as sports and sports tourism are very wide in Ghana, I say, I don't think that there's any sports museum in Ghana here. Okwa, you will even hear about this legend. I remember some years ago, 2018, I interview a documentary about former Black Stars captain. He's the longest serving Black Stars captain, Kwesi Owusu. He's the first player to score a goal at the German Olympic Stadium. Okwa, no more on the portrait, our stadium hall. And this is a player, no, I mean, he's the player, no, say, most of the goals or share, Young County, in Yelusu Archives, GVs Internet. He's the second highest scorer behind Asamoah. But people who watched him during a time, they say, he scored more than 60 goals for the Black Stars. In fact, in a game, with him 5 and 6 goals. But these players, until say, me as a young journalist, me as my McCoy, the interview and documentary, a PV where my man for to be who. People don't even know Kwesi Owusu that he won the Golden Boot 3 times in a row in the Ghana Premier League. A lot of people, a lot of legends. But then ye in Free Spain, by Ati Johan Cruyff din, Yati Alfredo Di Stefano din, or Pele. We didn't watch Pele, but then they are news. They have, I mean, museum and other stuff. Sir, about Asamoah. Sorry, their legends. But in Ghana here, in fact, Baba Yara Sports Stadium. What's Baba Yara? You whiny Baba Yara. It will open waves for the young people to go and search and read more about Baba Yara. So apart from Baba Yara, I stand to be corrected, and maybe the Zuma Sports Complex. We have to. I mean, if you are not doing, can I say, stadiums be there are total players there. Me most of the things I mean in stadiums are ABS Canibia and as a club on a be a in the park, not in the answer so ABA Chrome Ho Hinena, Ucha Assassin man in the stadium and a park, not in the answer so. Check then even the stadiums are money man. Yeah, the ball yen Ghana Premier League. Uyi Baba Yara. I don't know any stadium Omodato any legend. I don't know. Or is it because maybe House of Folk or Munyo Mom Stadium in Inti or even said these stadiums because people or Musi are buying any the other corporate people Musi said they almost found that so we have Indus Sports Complex, you have Nabuan Ninginaya for any political leaders and the traditional leaders in our community. So for me, I believe that say sometimes when you stadium even the stands alone. Even if one cry, yen for more statue or more portrait, more boy and national for people to know because right now, obi bagana no ba be tourism, obi bagana, obi hu Labadi Beach, obi hu Laboma, obi hu Kruna, obi hu baby a virus etaikono. But who we are, or Kwabrucha, he doesn't know any football icon, any sports icon, be our or in a Bukom boxing arena. Now at least all the stands be all the some like the Boteman Sports Complex like this. Yeah, they are to some huge and as a former sporting icons be a so to me, I think that whatever he said is a dream that he believes that dachi be. And conquer say yeah the better no na hu. Say na woka by the to know who at least remember no say oh ade obeye ma Ghana in Accra no. I mean the country, I mean that country near proud. And the future guys are mobile, they know that Charlie, Ubobo now bone yeah, daching your mind bedding. So to me, I think that in a wish, no, I think that I mean it's a fit. We have to be doing a fitting tribute to our legend. To me, you have to be doing that more often. Even if you're in your crowd, you're having some sports museum, we should talk about them. Something small stands at the Baba Yara and the National Sports Stadiums. No, you found to stands they be Reverend Osekofi stands. Send a cock boba. You see popular stand. You see, yeah the 2 or more. And it's Black Stars available on Monday or match tickets by. They were talking say ne popular stand 10 cd, lower VIP 100 cd, VVIP you say by here oh revenue say coffee stands 100 cds, this is 100 cds e bia one end sa ne mani nyina ya ade a e betime aboa internet so bi na komam e de aboa man because whatever the players have been doing obi betime na komam aboa at the moment obe mess up you see how the country go after them but yes still if they retire we don't honor them as if how much so moko omututu to kwan omoko who the players they were playing with and how they've been honored, how they are so much respected in their community, how the young generation for no even though they didn't watch them no it's something that more money and it's something that will also help our sports tourism as well so that is just by the way into NNA remember my home kwana ya de and sports arena jumade no so etimides meeting at event center or Benedict the morning man and can mon joining the telegram group ne ho NNA ya de the betting slips and say one T code ni bia no hopefully across social media sports arena on X sports arena on is it Telegram
and TikTok
ubehu eye code no join Telegram group ne ho and the coding na begu asaka kwadwo virus and brand din 36 mu na boya chidom and e di juma de ne brand nyame adom ochna same time you be sen share